Yes, I have been. Thank you. We came in a few minutes late, and I've heard Marvin referenced multiple times, listened to his talk. Marvin, first off, I don't know your last name. Can you give it?
Hayes, H-A-Y-E-S.
Marvin Hayes. Okay. And I think I was piqued, my curiosity was piqued by the information about two significant surveys undertaken by Geauga County, and that the results were not significantly different from the results in other counties. I wonder, since you referenced, or somebody referenced, scientific methodology as well as significant, can you define both of those terms for me? What constitutes for Geauga County?
Well, so first off, the studies were, the surveys were conducted for the region, so not for Geauga County specifically. So by saying that they were scientifically developed, essentially that simply means that, and really the term will probably be more relevant as statistical. So given the population of the region, the representation of each county was commensurate with that county's representation region-wide.
Okay, so can you tell me what percentage of the population responded to the total of two surveys?
Well, I'm not a statistics expert, but if I may, 802 people responded to the survey.
But you need to be clear that it's not that 802 people responded. We only needed 802 respondents. We only looked for 802 randomly selected respondents in order to make that survey be statistically significant.
And
that's very different than when you do an open survey where you say, I'm going to put something on my website and anybody that wants to give us input can respond. Then you get, well, how many people responded based out of how much population. Then that matters. But what we're talking about here, we didn't do that. We did something like that as a separate one, but the statistically significant survey, we had a survey organization do that, and that's how they do it. They'll figure out the math behind it and say, because your region has 2.1 million people, we need this many people to be able to extrapolate from there within a margin of 2% or 3% or 4% or 4 points, whatever.
Plus or minus 2%.
Exactly. And so 802 was what we needed to accomplish that, and the margin of error was
3.5%.
3.5%. So that's how we did that. And then within that, we asked the survey company to ensure that they had that same kind of reach within each of the counties. So that if Geauga County is, I think you're 5% of the whole region, then 5% of that 802 should have been from Geauga County, or that's how they figured it out.
Same company that did the last presidential election. Just curious.
Correct. Yes. Yes, sir.
I'd like to revisit the survey for just a moment.
Sure.
The 802, is the raw data available for those, and how do I get it?
The raw data. You mean the responses?
The responses.
I think so.
Yes.
We could just publish it online.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, and I would be able to find that on the NOACA website then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll put it in the long-range planning section as one of the inputs into the process. I know that generally some information is there, but I don't know about the raw data. We'll put it there, though. No problem.
We have all they're called crosstabs, so the representation of each individual county and then the aggregate. So that's all.
Right. And keeping in mind, we did two surveys, and those are a point of reference into the work that we've done. Again, regardless of what people have said, if people are totally satisfied with the system, but that's because they have extremely low expectations and more than 50% of the system is decrepit, we're going to have a different plan. We're going to have a different recommendation at the planning level from a professional perspective. So it's just one point of reference that goes into the formula for us to develop the plan.
If I may also.
Please.